What if I told you the most effective core exercise you can do doesn't involve a single crunch or plank? It's called the suitcase carry, and yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. You pick up a relatively heavy weight in one hand and you walk. But you don't just walk, you walk in a specific way. It's the fitness equivalent of refusing to make a second trip from the car with your groceries. It sounds deceptively simple, but what's happening inside your body? Well, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, so I'll show you. The reason this exercise trumps so many other core workouts comes down to one crucial concept: anti-lateral flexion. It's a fancy term, but a simple idea. The weight is desperately trying to pull your torso down to one side. Every single muscle in your core, from the deep corset-like transverse abdominis to the obliques running down your sides, has to stay in place to keep you standing tall and upright. It's not about creating movement, it's about resisting it. That right there is your core's primary job. It's a stabilizer, a brace against external forces. And the suitcase carry is the ultimate training ground for this function. The cool thing about the suitcase carry is that it's not just benefiting your core, it actually changes your body in many different ways, which we'll be talking about in a bit. The immediate and most obvious result of this exercise is a core that doesn't just perform well in the gym, but is tuned for the real world too. Every step you take with this offset load sends a signal to your central nervous system to fire up your obliques, your abs, and even the deep spinal erectors. This creates a bulletproof cylinder of strength around your spine. We're building a natural weightlifting belt, one that protects you whether you're lifting a heavy box or just carrying some chairs down to the beach. While this bracing mechanism is a game changer for the core, what's more impressive is that it bulletproofs an area that is commonly injured as we age. But we'll get to that later. For now, let's talk about something that happens the second you pick up that weight. Your body is immediately thrown into a state of imbalance. Which brings us to the next benefit: improved balance and coordination. The unilateral or one-sided load is a relentless test for your stability. Your brain, feet, and core are forced into a constant high-speed conversation to make thousands of tiny adjustments per second to keep you from toppling over. This process dramatically enhances your proprioception, your body's internal GPS system that tells you where you are in space without you having to look. Better proprioception means better balance, a more efficient walking gait, and a much lower risk of that embarrassing stumble when you step off a curb you didn't see. You're not just walking, you're recalibrating your entire nervous system. This total body recalibration creates a chain reaction of strength right down to your fingertips, and why that matters for your long-term health is more critical than you think. And speaking of future-proofing your body, that's a topic I'm incredibly passionate about. If you want to move and feel like you're 10 years younger, I've put everything you need to know into a complete blueprint to undo years of aches and pains that your body has built up. If you apply this step-by-step guide that you can do from your living room, you'll walk away with a body that's designed for longevity. You can grab it using the link in the description below, but for now, let's continue with why the suitcase carry is one of the first steps to building a resilient body. The third benefit, and arguably one of the most vital advantages of doing the suitcase carry, is a crushing grip strength. You can't cheat this one. If your grip gives out, the exercise is over. Holding a heavy load for distance is one of the purest and most effective ways to build strength in your hands, wrists, and forearms. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Your grip strength is a surprisingly powerful predictor of your overall health and longevity. It's not just some party trick. A massive multi-year study published in The Lancet involving nearly 140,000 adults found a strong link between grip strength and cardiovascular health. The research indicated that a decrease in grip strength was associated with a higher risk of heart attack, stroke, and all-cause mortality. Essentially, a stronger grip is a biomarker for a more resilient, healthier body. Think about it in practical terms. A weak grip doesn't just make it harder to open a jar. It's a sign that your overall neuromuscular system might be losing its horsepower. It can affect your ability to swing a golf club with power, carry a heavy suitcase through the airport without switching hands every 30 seconds, or even confidently play with your kids. It's a foundational element of real-world capability that most people ignore until it's gone. So while you're forging a stronger core, you're also quite literally strengthening your hold on your health. One of the most common, yet least known, causes of nonspecific lower back pain is a weak or imbalanced quadratus lumborum, or QL muscle. This muscle often becomes chronically tight and weak from years of sitting in an office chair or a driver's seat. where it's never asked to do its real job: stabilize. Your body gets amnesia, forgetting how to use it, and other muscles in your lower back try to pick up the slack, leading to that all-too-familiar ache and stiffness. Think of the QL as a deep, powerful, stabilizing muscle that connects the top of your pelvis to your lowest rib. Its job is to keep your pelvis level. When you do a suitcase carry, the QL on the opposite side of the weight you're holding has to fire intensely to prevent your hip from dropping down. This direct strengthening of the QL is something you just don't get from crunches or traditional planks. By fortifying this muscle, you're addressing a key weak link in the chain, creating stability and drastically reducing the likelihood of that dull, aching pain that can ruin your day. And strengthening this deep core muscle has a fantastic downstream effect on the biggest joints in your lower body, which is where we're headed next. The suitcase carry guarantees stronger hips and glutes. The same mechanism that strengthens your QL also lights up the lateral stabilizers of your hips, particularly a muscle called the gluteus medius. This muscle sits on the side of your hip, and its main role is to keep your pelvis stable when you're on one leg, which, by the way, is what happens every single time you take a step. This is a forgotten muscle because most people only think about the gluteus maximus when they're training their butt muscles like you would doing squats. When you carry that weight in one arm, the gluteus medius on the supporting leg has to work overtime to prevent your hip from collapsing outward. Weakness in this muscle is a well-known contributor to a host of problems, including an unstable walking gait and even knee pain, because a wobbly hip forces the knee to take on stress it was never designed for. By building stronger hip stabilizers with the suitcase carry, you're not just building a better-looking backside, you're creating a more stable foundation for every step you take, protecting your knees for the long haul. And while mastering this physical stability is a huge win, the real secret is how the struggle to stay upright forges a different kind of strength, one that has nothing to do with your muscles. Sure, physical strength is cool, but sometimes the heavy weight you need to lift is all in your head. And in that regard, the suitcase carry builds unflinching mental toughness and focus. This is not a comfortable exercise. Your grip is on fire, your obliques are screaming, your shoulders are burning, and every fiber of your being is telling you to just drop the weight. Pushing through that discomfort requires a unique kind of focus. It becomes a form of moving meditation. You can't be thinking about your to-do list or what's for dinner. Your entire consciousness has to shrink down to three things: maintaining your posture, controlling your breath, and taking the next step. It's a battle of will, and winning that battle, rep after rep, workout after workout, builds a level of grit and mental resilience that carries over into every other aspect of your life. So how do you actually put this into practice? It's simple. Pick a weight. It could be a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or even a bucket filled with water. It should be heavy enough to be genuinely challenging, but not too heavy so it doesn't force you to lean like Michael Jackson on your first step. The goal is to remain perfectly upright. Two common mistakes will sabotage your results. The first is walking too fast, turning it into a sloppy cardio session. Control is key. The second is shrugging the weight bearing shoulder up toward your ear. Keep that shoulder packed down and away from your ear to ensure your core, not your trap muscle, is doing the work. Stand tall, pull your shoulders back and down, and keep your chest up. Walk for a set distance, say 50 feet. Then switch hands and walk back. That's one set. Aim for 3 to 4 sets at the end of your workout. Personally, I like to put it at the end of my workouts, kind of like a finisher to forge that total body functional strength. And really quick, if you appreciate these kinds of no-nonsense, science-backed fitness tips, I send out more of them every single week in my free newsletter. It's a quick dose of actionable advice to help you get stronger and healthier without the hassle. The link is down below in the description. Now, do me a favor and share this video with a friend who's still stuck on the floor doing crunches. They'll thank you for it.